Hello everyone, Shroomer here, back with some more low-tiered post-narrated shenanigans. Today we are entering the depths of PU. Yes, PU is making its grand return to the scene, and today we have a game against Swaggy Pete. And looking at his side, he is on the near side, the first thing I noticed was Linoon. And we all know what Linoon do, extreme speed after a belly drum. But I have ways of dealing with that. What I did have a problem with was in fact the Articuno. You're going to be seeing a lot of that Articuno in this game. It caused me so many issues. The rest of his team is pretty cool. We've got a Weasel there, Drillbur, Honedge and Ivysaur, so Violite abounds, or at least the option of the Violite. On my side we've got the Specs Zeb Striker, Assault Vest Muck, Specially Defensive Rotom Frost, the physically defensive pairing of Kingler and Meganium, which work really well together, and the mixed attacking Life Orb Magmar. So, without further ado, let us get into the game. So Pete leads off with Articuno, I'm going to lead off with my Rotom, and not fearing anything from him, I'm just going to go for Light Screen as he pulls out a Substitute. But that's not a problem for Rotom. I can easily break the sub with a Volt Switch, and go directly into Zeb Striker to try and threaten him out behind the Light Screen. I'm not fearing what he can throw at me, but he does go for a Toxic, which, I can deal with that. Could have been worse. Anyway, Articuno is obviously threatened out. He's going to go into his Ivysaur to take the Thunderbolt, but no, we're going to go for Overheat. I was actually predicting Drillbur, but Overheat works well enough on Ivysaur as well. He's going to go back into Articuno, and he's going to take the following Overheat pretty nicely. And now I've got to switch out because I'm going to be doing nothing to Articuno at that kind of special attack drop. Go back into Rotom because the Light Screen is going to wear out this turn, as Articuno puts in another Substitute. Once again, I'm still not fearing him, so I go for another Light Screen, as Articuno shows Roost. And now I'm thinking, this guy could be a bit of an issue. Go for the Volt Switch, it's going to break the sub very easily, and this time I'm going to go into Muck, because I'm still thinking that Muck can take him on as well. So, another sub put in, and here I underestimate Articuno's bulk. He goes for an Ice Beam, that's going to do absolutely nothing to Muck. And a Brick Break does not break the Substitute. That got me a little bit worried, but the following Shadow Sneak is going to do the job. He goes for another Ice Beam, and once again, it's doing nothing. So Muck can now threaten out Articuno with the prospect of a Gunk Shot, but he predicts that, goes into the Honedge, which is of course going to take nothing from the Gunk Shot. I'm going to go for a Shadow Sneak here to test the waters, as he sets up a Swords Dance. And now I'm quite worried, because we all know what these guys can do with a Swords Dance up. Go into the physically defensive Kingler, who takes the Iron Head like a champion, and I'm just going to go with a knockoff and get rid of that Violite, which is going to make it a bit easier to take down. Sacred Sword comes in, does a decent chunk of damage to Kingler, and he's going to switch out, go back into Articuno as I just keep going for knockoff. Get rid of the leftovers, which is going to help me a bit later on in the battle. And this time I'm going to switch out. Go back into my Rotom Frost as Articuno drops another Toxic. Now, I think he's going to switch out here because he's going to fear my Volt Switch, so I'm going to set up a Light Screen once again. Now, Rotom is going to have to burn this guy because I don't want him doing any more damage with the Swords Dances. Sacred Sword does manage to score a crit, which does a pretty decent chunk to Rotom. But right now I just want this thing dead. I want it to go away and leave me alone forever. So I go to Kingler to take the Shadow Sneak, and after leftovers that's actually doing nothing. Now I notice he's going to kill himself off with Burn here, so as he goes for the Shadow Sneak, I'm going to go for the Amnesia. So now I am a max defense Kingler sitting behind a Light Screen with +2 in special defense, so I fear nothing that this Ivysaur has to throw at me. Go for the knockoff, don't quite get the KO. He lives with 3%, goes for the Giga Drain. That really doesn't do that much to Kingler. Ivysaur's got respectable special attack. But now I'm going to be able to take him out with the following knockoff. So, Kingler's in here with some special defense, and he goes into Weasel. And this I was not expecting, the special Weasel. I live at 1%, go for the knockoff, and it turns out he was a Choice Specs Weasel. So, big respect to people running Choice Specs Weasel. I would never have seen that coming in a million years. Anyway, Kingler's done his job and can go down now. In comes Muck, and without the specs, certainly, Muck's going to be able to take anything that Weedle can throw at him. Go for the Brick Break. Didn't want to go for Shadow Sneak, predicting possibly Linoon to come in, Now in comes Drillbur. I don't want to take an Earthquake, so I'm going to go into Rotom. But Pete predicts that very nicely and goes for a Rock Slide instead, which is going to clean take out Rotom from that range of health. In comes Meganium. Drillbur cannot touch Meganium, but in now instead comes Linoon. Now I know what this thing's going to do. He's going to set up the Belly Drum. It's what they do. I set up the Reflect. Now even without the Reflect, I can take an Extreme Speed with Belly Drum, and I'm going to be able to take him out with a counter following that up. So that's very nice. A big threat neutralised. But now in comes this Articuno, who's causing me so many problems. Well, I switch out to Muck because I know Articuno can't touch me, and I'm hoping that Muck can deal with him here. He goes for Roost, which I don't see coming really. I don't see why I didn't. I just went for Gunk Shot. And he goes for Substitute again, and I go for Gunk Shot again. And it's about here that I realise what he's doing. And I'm thinking, son of a bitch, he's PP stalling me. He's genuinely doing it. He goes for the Roost here, and I go for Brick Break predicting that. At this point I have one Gunk Shot left, and I don't want to waste it. So I hard switch into my Zeb Striker. He goes for a Sub, and here what I really should have done was go for a Volt Switch into Magmar. I didn't. I went for the Thunderbolt, and he's able to take me out very nearly with the Ice Beam. And here I again don't go for Thunderbolt predicting Drillbur. I go into Meganium, which is a very bad play because he's able to Roost up back to full and drop a Toxic on me as a little bonus for him. I can get the Reflect up, but that is literally all I can do. I'm going to have to switch out into Wally the Zeb Striker as fodder, simply so I can get a safe switch into my Magmar. And here the stalling starts again, because Fire Blast is doing a clean 2/3 of Articuno's health. He can go for a Sub here, and once again he is stalling me. So I'm going to go for Thunder Punch instead. He's going to be able to Roost up on me. And here, this is an annoying play, because that would have killed. But the Fire Blast misses. Articuno is able to Roost up. Once again, Articuno is back to full. I go for Fire Blast. It does a huge chunk. I must have got a max damage roll that time. Articuno just goes for the Roost, and he is stalling me properly now here. I go for Thunder Punch because I want to save the PP on Fire Blast. And Articuno goes for the Roost, and here it's just Stallfest, Stallfest, Stallfest. I'm Thunder Punching, he's subbing and roosting and doing what he can to stall me out of PP. My Reflect Rare's off, happens. Go for the Thunder Punch, break the sub, as Articuno goes for the Roost. Here I go for a Thunder Punch again, trying to maybe trick him into thinking that I'm out of Fire Blasts, because Life Orb's wearing me down as fast as I run out of PP. So I continue going for Thunder Punch. Here I score the Paralysis, as Articuno goes for another substitute. I go for Thunder Punch. I'm going to be able to break the sub there, and I'm down. I've got one hit left in me, maybe two. He goes for the Roost, and here I use my last Fire Blast, and it doesn't take it out. I'm down to 1%. He goes for the Roost, and all I have left to do is hit it with a Thunder Punch, but he predicts that, finally makes the switch into Drillbur as I go for the Thunder Punch. So now I've got one hit left, go for Psychic, and take myself out with Life Orb. So now it's my Muck and my Meganium versus Drillbur and Articuno. I go into Meganium, he hard switches out into Articuno, and I go for a Giga Drain, which is of course going to do basically nothing to Articuno. Meganium cannot touch Articuno. I'm going to be able to go for the Aromatherapy to get rid of my Toxic. He goes for Ice Beam. At this point I just need him to die. I need Meganium to go down. I set up the Reflect with Drillbur in mind. So Meganium goes down, it's Muck against the world. In comes Muck. I have one Gunk Shot left, and here I pull it out of the bag. Finally Articuno is down, and now Drillbur comes in. And he outspeeds and goes for the Earthquake, but the Reflect saves me. I go for the Ice Punch, and it doesn't quite kill, but I have the Shadow Sneak. Pull it out, and Muck manages just about to take the win. So, that was the game. Very exciting. Great game, Swaggy Pete. That Articuno really caused me so many issues. I have, since this game, put Dragon Tail on my Meganium, mainly so that it can phase out setups, which I didn't have before then, and also so maybe I can touch Articunos again, because until then Meganium was useless against the Articuno. But yes, that's going to be it for this video. Little bit of news, I am still using the shitty mic, the headset that I found lying around the house. but at the top of my list of priorities is to get a proper microphone so that I can give decent quality recordings. That's hopefully something that's going to happen in the near future. But until then, and until the next video, I will see you all next time. Laters!